All right. Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm John, investor and realtor here in the St. Louis area. Recently closed a client who was buying here, an out-of-state client buying in the St. Louis area. I want to go over 4 traits that she possessed to help us get through the deal, right? So subscribe if you haven't already. So number 1 is going to be that she got herself qualified. That's a part of our process, and it's actually very systemic when you're working with us. We have lenders, we have inspectors, we have a whole ecosystem built to serve you. But she got herself pre-qualified. How does that help me? For one, I know you're serious. 2, I know your buying power. So whenever I'm on the phone with the realtor, I can stick my chest out a little bit more. I know that we can afford this property. I know that we can close on this property. I know that my client has been fully underwritten so that we can perform. When I don't know that you can perform, you haven't gotten, you ain't sent in your proof of funds. You literally signed the buyer's agreement. You haven't gotten your pre-approval. I don't have that same type of posture on the phone. But so shout out to Elise. She threw an alley-oop for me for that one. She got herself pre-qualified. That's going to allow me to go out and perform to the best of my ability as well. Number 2 is she was patient. She was very, very, very patient. We didn't get the first deal that we went after. We had several that we were beat out on. I came in too aggressive. We came in too aggressive, asking for too much, and we had other people that were willing to buy that same property with less demand. So who you think the seller went with? They went with the other person who can close, who maybe wasn't asking for as much that we were. Okay, we got to keep trying. Some other things that we came up on is rental caps. So be very, very, very careful about rental caps in your area. And sometimes an area can have a rental cap. You check back 6 months, the rental cap has been lifted. You check back a year, the rental cap is back in full effect. So you want to be very mindful, especially if you're dealing with out-of-state investors, because if you get an out-of-state investor, they buy an out-of-town property. Their sole and primary exit strategy for that was to hold it as an investment property, and they can't because, or else they have to wait until the capacity sort of balances out for that street, and who knows how long that can take. But that wouldn't be a good situation. What I would advise is to pick up the phone and call the actual municipality and find out what's going on. It's good to talk with the listing agent. It's good to talk with the other realtors, but this particular property, that information wasn't in the listing at all. We came upon it because I wanted to get clarity around the occupancy inspection. Are we going to have a past occupancy? Can you deliver that past occupancy to me? About how long do we take? Because sometimes they will give you a past occupancy, but you got 3 weeks that you only have 3 weeks or 2 weeks left in order to find a tenant. Otherwise, you'll have to get it re-inspected. So you want to do all of that sort of tedious due diligence whenever you're about to buy a property. But yeah, so she was very patient. That was one. And then we had another property to where just the inspections were just all out of whack. The seller he provided the inspections up front before we even went under contract, because he knows, like, hey, about 95% of the people, they pull out whenever they see the inspection report. My client, she wasn't looking for anything heavy on this first one, so it's a certain sweet spot, a buy box criteria that I'm searching for her properties. And she was very patient. We finally found the one that worked out for her. Got through inspections, got through appraisals. The closing actually got pushed back 2 days. The seller was getting really antsy, but we got it done. Number 3 is going to be strategy. She was very, very open to strategy, and whether that was being open to when I was coming in more aggressive a little early on, which is great for her because I'm looking to keep more money in her pocket. But sometimes if you want a property, but if we're coming in super aggressive with the hammer every time, we're not going to close on anything if the market is competitive and telling us that, hey, we don't have to go with your sort of hardball offer right now. Sometimes we had to pivot. We had to pull back a little bit just to get in the deal. And remember what I said about inspections. Now we can start to play ball a little bit after inspections. But even with inspections, not all sellers go for that. They're, hey, I'll go back to market. And sometimes, depending on where we are, okay, go back to market. Or else we'll bend a little bit. We're a little flexible with what it is that we are requesting, as long as it's still putting her in a good position after close. So she was very, very, very open to strategy. And then Lastly, is going to be leverage. I know what you're thinking when I say leverage. You're thinking about bank financing, which is great. She did leverage some of our lenders in order to get financing, but I'm talking about leverage with human capital. She was able to leverage our agency here. She has access to a full GC department. She has me, her realtor. She didn't have to go and walk a property. She didn't have to take any pictures. She didn't have to take any videos. She didn't have to walk into title. Actually, the notaries came to her. So she really got to leverage her team, really got to leverage her human capital. Even now, she's being handed off to property management, all while still not having to come into the property. Do our clients come in every now and then? Yep. They may come in, we may have lunch, or they may pop in, they just want to see the property. But for the most part, they know that they do not have to come in. They have a team here that's going to walk them from A to Z. So I think that these are 4 traits for any buyer if you're working with a trusted third party or a professional company like ours who handle your investments for you. So shout out to Elise. So if you guys enjoy content like this is going to be a short one. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you leave me a comment. I'm trying to get up to 500 subscribers, and I'm trying to drop 1 video every week. So you know what you are. You're my accountability partner now. So I want to see you guys back here next week, and thanks a lot for watching.